Rahul, how do you feel about this event?
First of all, very good evening, Chandu, and to all the viewers across the world. Yes, this is really exciting. I'm really honored to be and privileged to be commentating in the Swiss League and watch these two stalwarts really fight it out. And I feel really good about this, right?
Absolutely. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this finals. These two players are the giants of the Indian Carrom. Both accomplished a lot throughout their careers, and yeah, let's take a look at what's going on the board right now.
Yes, I think the initial formalities, I just saw the leveler out, trying to get the board leveled, minor nuances. These are like really top level players. They find minor differences in the levels of the board and they fix it, and that's the level at which they play. And I think we're all set. We're about to get started.
Yeah, totally. Let's talk about the finalist here. Um, on your left is Aditya. He is an up-and-coming player. Like, he has been performing as the highest level in India already, and this is his first time at the world stage. And on the right side, you have Mohammad Gufran. He has already won one of these events in the last world stage. He is the previous winner of the Swiss League in the last World Championship that was held in Malaysia.
That's correct, Chandu. And this is going to be a really exciting game. Aditya is like you mentioned, is an up-and-coming player at the world stage, and he's going to be trying to challenge Gufran and make sure he doesn't defend his title at the Swiss League. And there we are. We're up and running. And look at that. That's a wonderful break. Queen is open.
Yeah.
Very controlled, measured, and poised by Gufran, as you would expect.
100%. One thing that baffles me pretty much every time I see these guys play is the conviction with which every shot that is being played.
And there we go. Commentator's curse. As you would say, I think that they're just getting used to the level of the board, and that's a very uncharacteristic miss from Gufran. You wouldn't see that a lot in the due course of the game. There'll be far and few of those.
Yep.
Pretty sure.
And Rahul, you just saw that Aditya just defended the queen. Since Aditya hasn't pocketed any coin yet, he would not go for it. Otherwise, that queen would end up back in the center of the board. And it's better to defend at this stage, given that Aditya does not have a lot of clear openings.
That's right. And defense is a very important part of the game here, which is shown by Aditya. And now he has the queen in his base, well secured, and he can now kind of focus on clearing some of the black coins, which is in his opposite base, which is typically the difficult coins that the opponent is usually used as what they call as the insurance, and they play with some freedom when you have an opponent's coin in your base. So now Gufran trying to beautifully blocking the pocket.
And I would like to actually also talk about the sponsors who actually helped us bring this event at this stage. I would like to start by thanking our equipment sponsor, SYNCO, for providing us with these Carrom sets. And next, I would like to thank Core Hive, Trinamax, Carrom Central, Agilicis, Verizon, and many other such sponsors, because of which we are able to bring the event of this magnitude right here in the heart of Silicon Valley in Milpitas.
That's right, Chandu. This game is so hard is nothing without those generous sponsors who make this happen and who are able to bring this game to the limelight, right? In a prime venue like the India Community Center, we have been thankful with them also as our venue partners to be able to host this in a prime location such as the Silicon Valley is no mean feat, and we thank India Community Center as well for the venue.
Totally, Rahul. And India Community Center is not only a place where which is famous for a lot of cultural activities, but it's also a hub for a lot of sporting events that happens across the Bay Area.
Yep, that's right. And we can see here Aditya surveying the field. Has a couple of options. The red stuck to the base. I think he's going to get some coins cleared.
Yep, he's going for the red.
Yes.
Uh,
It's called the punch shot. Nicely done.
he made it look so easy, right, Rahul?
Yes, I think there's hours and hours of practice and those angles, they have it all figured out. Making it so easy, and that's beautifully done.
See, this is an offense-defense combination where, along with trying to pocket his own coin, he also tried to make one of his opponent's coin a little bit difficult.
Right. There's one more. Another demonstration of dual intent shot. Trying to cut the black and release his other two blacks. Not successful, but still has the advantage.
I would still think that Gufran has a finish here. He's going to
Yes.
try and glance this particular white,
Yes, I think it'll be a double glance.
and that's exactly what he did.
Perfectly done. I think he's just going to get the thumb. Oh, it's very
Right.
unexpected.
And that's unfortunate miss, and looks like Aditya now has a finish here.
Yes, that's correct. He's expected to finish here, and that would be crucial 4 points for the taking here. And it is.
So let's talk about this league, Rahul. This is known as the Swiss League for the World Cup, for the 6th Carrom World Cup. It happens in every world stage events. Do you want to talk about more about what is this Swiss League that happens?
Yes, Chandu. So the Swiss League here is a system where we have multiple events in each World Cup, right? And in the
Mhm.
6th Carrom World Cup, the Swiss League is a single pool of all players, agnostic of gender, age. We have everybody pulled together, and they're playing 8 rounds to get the top 2 players, and the top 2 players are now battling it out. So the path for each of these players has been grueling, and they have beaten many formidable players to get here, right? And this started in the beginning of the day, and they have gone 8 rounds and battled their way to this point here. And Swiss League is the only format, I'll remind you, that is a gender agnostic, has all the women players, players of all age, everybody battling it out. In fact, Kajal Kumari was one of the winners in the Korea World Championship in 2018. And Gufran was the I'm sorry, I'm corrected. Kajal Kumari was the winner in the World Cup 2018 in Korea, and Gufran was the winner of Swiss in the last Malaysia World Championship. So this is really a different format, and an interesting format, and a very taxing format, I would say, where they're playing for the whole day in a single set format, right?
Yep. You covered a lot of great points, Rahul. One of them being Carrom being a truly gender agnostic sport, where both men and women are equally, talented to be able to grab the trophy. And this particular league, as you mentioned, is one of the leagues where they both men and women players play together through this 8 long rounds, and then the top 2 player battle it out for the finals. And again, Gufran has been displaying some amazing skills here,
Right.
and Aditya looks like he has some work to do. And again, commentator's curse, I would say.
Yes, I think Aditya is now going to try to reduce some points and make a comeback here on this board. And you can see here that he has one black coin that's blocked for Gufran, and that's a miss, which is pretty unfortunate.
What do you think, Rahul, here? Who has an advantageous position at this stage?
So it's always not the number of coins, and at this point with that shot is probably
Yeah,
grabbed the advantage here,
yeah,
right?
that was one.
I was just going to say the number of coins doesn't matter. There's one block that's blocked, but Gufran just very masterfully opening up that black, and I think He will finish that and grab a big board here, and you can see the applause here. And that's the vision that these players play with.
100% Rahul. It is just truly amazing how these guys masterfully and strategically plan each and every shot out, thinking about the next few shots already while playing the current shot.
Right, that's the beauty of these players. Unlike us, these players really look at what's the coin that's not going, rather than the coin that's actually going, and how to make use of some of the easier coins on the board to make some of those difficult coins open up for them. And that's a very crucial shot there, and it turned the board and the match now in his favor with 10-4 lead, and with Gufran to break. That's a very key lead, I would say, and Aditya has a lot of work to do now. It's
Totally,
a
Rahul.
very crucial board here.
100%. And one thing that I want to let our viewers know is Aditya and Gufran played the 8th round as well against each other, where Aditya had a very close encounter, beating Gufran with the score of 18-17 after 8 breaks.
Yes, truly equally matched players, I would say, right? And if you look at the road to the finals for Aditya, it has not been easy, right? He's played K. Srinivas, he's played Bartos from the Poland team, and Lennis Paul from Singapore, and Aminat and Preeti Jakotia, our very own Bay Area Carrom,
That's right.
and United States player, and then Gufran in the final round to win against him. So this road to finals has not been easy for Aditya, and that shows what kind of a quality player he is at this point, right?
That's right, Rahul. And then let's also look at the road to the finals for Gufran. He also faced some really formidable opponents like Arif Muhammad from India, Srinivas as well from India, Ibrahim, Hakim from India, beating all these top players. He also beat Nayer A from UAE in the 7th round, and then finally meeting Aditya. This was his first loss in the SRR League, which was the 8th round against Aditya, and now they're both here playing the finals.
Yes, truly, I think a deserved finalist, I would say. And you can see it from their path, and in the last round that they met with each other, which means they were ranked 1 and 2 to be playing against each other typically, or they at least were in the top 4 if they were playing against each other. And the score suggests that this is going to be a very close match, and I expect the same, right? Like the Swiss round, the previous round, it's going to be a close game, and the margin for error is going to be minimal for both players.
That's right. And looking at this current position right now, it doesn't feel like it is favoring one particular player. But Gufran now is trying to blast out the black from the pocket so that Aditya is not able to use that for any sort of a glance shot to make other coins.
That's right. Oh, that's a very unfortunate, unforced error. Very unlike Gufran. Aditya is going to try to pocket some of the blacks and follow the sequence. As you can see, the white is blocked. It's going to push with a cut. Nicely done.
These guys makes these shot look so easy.
Yes, there's a lot of finesse. You have to push the white to the right position. Too much or too less can make a lot of difference. If you play it a little too soft, the white ends up being a bomb coin for Gufran.
Exactly.
And too less, it's going to go below the black. So that's the level at which, and that's the finesse at which they operate.
Gufran now trying to pull the whites towards his base. Oh no, he was trying to go for a connection shot, and that was beautifully executed.
Yes, very delicately played, well spotted. He's going to play a cut return here, Aditya, and nicely done.
Now he has this insurance coin.
That's correct. Typically considered, there's no coin difficult on the board for any of these players, I would say, but typically, just looking at the odds of being able to pocket any coin, typically the coins on your opponent's base is going to require one turn. You're expected to lose a turn. Having said that, there's a bomb coin on the white,
and there was a beautiful double shot to pocket the queen.
That is very unfortunate.
But Rahul, he still has a bomb shot, and with this W, even though the coins are now in a difficult position for him, these 3 coins, he can still use this bomb shot to
Yes,
blast out these group of coins to make it easy for
that,
himself.
that's right, Chandu. And he's going to play this called bomb shot, as you mentioned. Try to get all the 3 coins in one shot. And he almost does that. He gets 2 coins out. The third one is relatively difficult.
And again, if Gufran here misses this particular coin, he does not have an insurance right now.
That's right, Chandu. It's going to be interesting. His next turn is going to be really interesting to see. Is he going for it? Is he backing himself?
I think he's going to go for it, because if he wins, it's going to give him a lot of points.
That's right. I think it's worth the risk. And that's almost now Aditya's under pressure.
Exactly. Even though it looks like these are all straight coins, pocketing them at this situation where Gufran has a relatively easy coin to pocket, the last one, that itself is a lot of pressure at this situation.
Right? That's correct. But well played under pressure and defends the board, gets 1 point. And that's a big difference. These are the kind of strokes that makes the difference between a win or a loss for each of those players. Had Gufran pocketed that, it would have been a big lead of 17 against 4. And let me remind the viewers that it's a single set game, and it's not going to be easy to come back from a big lead. It's not a 3-set game to kind of play on the second set and win the game, right? So it's every point, every board is really crucial. And I think that was a very good finish and an important finish for Aditya to stay in the game. If he had lost that board, it would have been an uphill battle for him.
Exactly. And also, for our viewers, the 8th round that was played between Aditya and Gufran was leading 17-3 after the end of 6 breaks. And Aditya made a really amazing comeback, as I was just talking about at the beginning, winning the 8th round by 18-17, covering the 15 points just in the last 2 breaks. And again, that match is actually that was streamed on the USCA's YouTube channel, which I would recommend you all subscribing to follow all these amazing matches.
That's right, Chandu. I think everybody should be following and subscribing to the United States Carrom Association. They've done a great job at streaming good quality, high quality games, and many more to come in the next few days. 6th Carrom World Cup is just halfway through, and let me remind you that Thursday and Friday and the Saturday games are still yet to be going underway, and we have the US Open along with the men's singles tomorrow and the blockbuster weekend matches. So this is going to be a lot of Carrom for the viewers, and high quality streams and technology at its forefront here in the 6th Carrom World Cup at Silicon Valley, Bay Area, California, India Community Center.
That's right. And Rahul, are you excited for this finals? We have whole event planned out for this finals. We are going to have bleachers and a stadium-like experience for our viewers with a center court, and Willow TV would be live streaming that match in North America, and also it's going to be streamed across the world using SYNCO's YouTube channel. How excited are you for this event, for the finals?
I'm really excited, and this has been an amazing opportunity to partner with United States. Bay Area Carrom Association has been doing a lot of local tournaments, and the community here has been really excited for this, and this is just opportunity to be hosting it here in the Bay Area. I think United States Carrom Association made it possible for us here to bring this event in the Bay Area, and the kind of vision that this team has had put forth here to have, like you said, a stadium-like environment for Carrom is just amazing. That is beautifully done. Not only does he retain the turn, he brings the white back to his base.
Yep, that was an exceptional shot. I was just thinking about that Gufran was now in a pickle, but looks like he has now an insurance with him, which is going to give him immense confidence to go for all these difficult strokes. None of these coins are high probability shots. Like Gufran has to go for a difficult stroke. Right now, he's going to go for a cut return.
Yes.
And with this shot, he made 2 of the coins easy, relatively, compared to the other 3.
I would say for his caliber, he has made all of them achievable. The idea there was to cut the black and bring the striker back on the bunch and make it possible to play all those coins. And he would fancy himself to finish it should Aditya miss. And let's see. This is the kind of make or break moment, I would say, for Gufran. Crucial board. These kind of boards give you a lot of confidence, break the opponent's momentum, and of course will give you a good significant lead that you can play with. And also let me remind the viewers that this is Aditya's break, so typically you would expect it to win in your break with about 4 to 5 points, but here losing on the break might put Aditya on the back foot.
That's right, Rahul. And at the beginning of this break, it looked like Gufran had a lot of work to do, and that was a really unfortunate miss. And let's see if Aditya can close this to get 4 points at this break. And
Aditya faults as well. This is just pressure showing up, I guess. They would have practiced this about 1,000 times now, but the last coin really is indeed difficult even for these top players, and I don't feel as bad now when I miss, right? And just show the amount of stake at the ground, the amount of pressure, the nerves, even for these top players, is pretty immense.
Like when I used to play Carrom in India with my friends, one of my friends used to always tell me that the last coin is heavier than the other coins.
Right.
Because you have that extra added pressure, and that's what we just saw, both with Gufran and Aditya. But again, these are like super talented players. They've been playing most of their life, and still they miss some coins.
So it's pretty unfortunate. I think in this case it was a little bit of a I think a hard luck to just stop at the mouth of the pocket. Those sometimes the surfaces are not very even. I think he's been playing with the same stroke that he's been playing, and then it's just very unfortunate that it just stopped there at the mouth of the pocket.
And this is break number 5, or is it break number 6? Looks like they're going for break number 6. I stand corrected. This is break number 5, and the score is Gufran leading 11 points to 5.
That's right. This is a very nicely positioned board, I would say.
I think Gufran, after he goes for this particular shot, he has a bomb coin.
I think he has another white that you would like to pocket on the top right here, but I think he wants to go with the bomb first.
I think for this particular white, he has some access issues. Now that the white coin is pocketed at his base, he now has a clear access to the white shot.
And that's also his queen cover. So, very nicely done.
And this still looks like he should be able to pocket this.
I think so, yes. I think he has some space. He's going to be able to pocket that.
It's going to be a balanced shot where exactly he's going to hit it super soft.
Let the gravity do the work. Just drop it in close to the pocket.
Do you think he has a position to go for a white slam?
I would love to see one. It's going to be a little tricky. The coin here on the red seems a little hard to maneuver.
But right now, looks like Aditya has a lot of work to do. Doesn't have a lot of straight coins, and he's going to have to make some really amazing shots to be able to pull this off.
Yes, I think he'll try to get a couple blacks pocketed first.
And these players are totally, they have the skills to be able to pull these kinds of finishes off.
That's right. I think first going to be very systematic. Look at that double touch. Just played it like the coin means nothing. It's right at the mouth of the pocket. And that's practice for you guys. It's not easy to pull out such a shot. It requires immense amount of practice and precision, both in terms of the point of contact and the speed and the finesse at which you have to release the striker.
I think Gufran's going to try and touch this coin exactly and then pull the white away so that the black away so that he has space
That's right.
to go for this particular white.
Yes, and that's called a knocking shot. Is one of the terminologies used for that in Carroms. The shots in Carrom are different terminologies used in different regions.
Exactly.
Touch, knock. But the point there was to bring the black to his base and make way.
That's right, Rahul. I think I've learned all these terminologies playing a lot of Carrom and the Mumbai clubs with my friends in college.
That is a very crucial miss. The white was slightly difficult position. Now that kind of opened up.
I think while Gufran pockets the white, he's going to try and make the black difficult. And this is a very difficult position for Aditya as well.
That's right. And I think Gufran's going to look at that. Beautifully done. Just nudging the black, making it a hard rebound for Aditya, giving himself the luxury of going for a rebound.
And again, that was not an easy shot to pocket.
Yes, the rebounds are deceptively difficult because you have to compensate for the slope of the board. The striker is traveling throughout the board in both directions, and the slope makes a lot of difference towards that, and that's very sharp cut and does the job of blocking the pocket here. Gufran's going to try to do a follow rebound.
And he also knows that he has a insurance coin right now. This is not an easy coin.
Yes,
and
like I mentioned, the rebound is a very tricky stroke to play. And like you see, slight margin for error makes a lot of difference, and that board is in favor of Gufran.
And it costs him 4 points.
That's correct.
What do you think, Rahul? Will Aditya be able to make a comeback the way he did in the round 8 of the Swiss League?
I see no reason why. I mean, it's not over until it's over, right? And one amazing thing about these players is the ability to produce slam on demand. And we can see that. And I've seen multiple occasions of some of these top players today do it. When they're really down and out, and when you think you have the game in your control, and that's when they bring out the slam.
That's right. And also, Aditya is doing break number 6, which means he's also going to be doing break number 8. So he needs to make sure that he wins this board and then tries to snatch the 7th break, because he's going to have a break advantage in the last break.
That's correct. Some people like that. It's very analogous to chasing in cricket. Some people like to chase targets no matter what. They like the ability to have that pressure of chasing.
And they also like to plan things out, right? Like it gives them an opportunity to plan their next move.
That's right.
And this was not a very successful break. Did not give a lot of opening to Aditya, but that applies to Gufran as well. This is a very defensive break right now.
Yes, I would say there was a missed cute break, but Gufran very delicately just opening up the 2 blacks on the north side of the board, making sure he's not creating any openings for Aditya, and he's going to have to create it for himself, and which he does beautifully. And now with that white, he has some options.
He's going to try and hit this white a little hard so that the striker travels on the other whites in the front.
Yes,
and
that's amazing display of some touch carrom, as they call it.
That's right.
Making the striker do some extra work. And it's basic physics, right? The coin is 5 grams, the striker is 15 grams. You have the ability to make that heavier object move around a little bit.
That's right. And
it's going to do a glance on the red.
I think I'm going to go for the straight shot. And he does do a slight glance.
Yeah, I would say more of a brush. Does he have that long white?
I think so.
It's the right coin to play. And he just has enough space to make some contact to the white. Wasn't an easy shot. I think the intent was to open up the white, and Gufran, as you will see, going to use the black cluster in the middle to shield the white behind. And the idea here is patience, right? Wait for some mistake. I wouldn't be surprised if he defends again.
Gufran doesn't have a lot of options at this stage. He's gonna try a balanced shot, hit it super soft and beautifully
Look
execute.
at that. That is delicately done.
It looks like he's just picking the coins and just placing it wherever he wants on the board right now.
That's right, Chandu. It's just now he decides to defend it. The idea here is really he's waiting for Aditya to make a mistake and get the so-called insurance that we have been talking about, right? It's a test of patience. Keep defending. Don't give your opponent any pocket coins, which they can skillfully use to create some advantageous positions, right?
And also given the score line, and that was
a beautiful
amazing.
double touch, right?
Again, these guys make it look so easy, so accurate. Just amazing.
And that's another beautiful double.
And it's gonna try and cut, but doesn't look like he has a cover, even if he makes the queen right now.
Right. I think that would be...
So he's gonna try and cut this white and open the queen for himself.
And then he's gonna figure out how he can get the white to go. Might play just try a follow. And I think his only other confidence here is the two blacks.
I think he's gonna try and cut return.
Just keeping it simple. I think there's a follow here. The idea here would be to just play it as though the black does not exist. And it's unfortunate that the black didn't make the way for white. And it's the shot is called follow. And what Aditya was really trying here was to
hit it with enough power, right?
Right.
To turn the black around, and then
the white goes behind it.
And again, as we said, this is a crucial board for Aditya, because the next break would be Gufran's.
That's right.
And he needs to make sure he can rack as many points as he can. And this white right now doesn't have a lot of space to go anywhere.
That's right. And to Gufran's advantage, he has a pocket black, which he's going to use, which he does. I think, and Gufran really is trying to make sure he doesn't give up a big board. Getting the queen will help him with that cause. Has a nice little follow here. It's going to take that and bring the board down to a 3-point game.
That's right. I think right now he's going to try and probably knock these black off of this particular one. Oh, I don't see any other shot. But again, these guys are so talented, you never know.
I think that's the option here, which he does beautifully and very skillfully.
And Aditya's going to try and hit this coin right here.
Use the support of the black.
He doesn't need that.
He doesn't even need that. That's beautifully done. Pretty much I would say the game was online there with that shot.
Right.
Because there was... If he had missed that, could have potentially been 4 points for Gufran. Instead
Aditya
now,
still has a chance, right? Rahul, what do you think?
He definitely does. I think this is a very crucial board. He wants to make sure... He wants to make sure that he doesn't, first of all, lose this board. Get this board by about 3-4 points, and then, like we said, the break to finish the 8th board. He might even fancy himself to make it, right? And the pressure might translate back to Gufran, and Aditya might have the momentum on his side. And meanwhile, Gufran will try to maximize this break. It's a great opportunity for him to close out here.
And then win the second Swiss League event at the world stage.
That's
back to back.
That's correct. Gufran really has a way at the Swiss League. And this would be another amazing title for him. And that's pretty unfortunate. I think the break.
I think this is the first break in this game that he has missed.
That's right.
But again, Aditya looks like he has a couple of coins that he can pocket.
That's right. I think he's going to use the black.
He's going to glance off of that.
Yes.
Looks like he went for a cut return.
Yes. I think kind of, I would say semi-successful, being able to pull the red back to his hand. Red is really crucial for Aditya here.
I think I don't like the white sitting here for Gufran. He can use this coin, and that's exactly what Aditya goes for. He's trying to remove that advantageous
And that's
coin.
beautifully done, right? And that's a perfect example of the defense there. And Gufran thinking about doing the same thing. He'll probably get one white and then do that.
Because Aditya can move this white around with this black that Gufran is now pocketing.
That's right, Chandu. There's a definite brush, as they would call it, that opens up the red for Aditya. And that was a very crucial defense, I would say, for Gufran to save the red.
I think he's going to go for the cut right now.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Just
was
wants to release the two blacks there and open the cluster a little bit.
Rahul, do you think Gufran is going to go for the queen right now? He has an axis.
Yes, I think it's definitely there for him. But looking at the sequence, probably not. He does have a follow on the side of the frame. So I think he'll try to reduce the points as much as possible and then go for it. And there he is. Crucial shot. And that
was an unfortunate miss, and Aditya is definitely going for the queen.
Nicely done. I think there was a slight hesitation from Gufran, or so I felt, while he played the queen.
I think so.
There was a little bit of weight on his shot. He was a little concerned about giving away the queen, which is kind of exactly what Aditya wanted. And now is really I think the pressure is slightly on Gufran to now not lose the board, because Aditya has the queen.
Wow.
And that could cost him. There's one white and slightly more difficult white towards Aditya's base.
He's just gently trying to make all the coins easy, because right now this coin is blocking.
That's right. And I think he's going for a head cut, as they would call it. There is still a way for the black. I think there's just not enough.
I think he's going to probably go for a double shot for this particular coin.
Seems like it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just delicately placed.
I think to my point, it just looks like these guys just pick the coins and place it wherever they want on the board.
Yes. And that's a little tricky position there. I think there's an option of going the side frame, and which he does.
He's doing that because he doesn't have access to the coin. And that was some finish.
That is really done well. 5 white Carrom on the board. This is going to be 8 points, I think, in Aditya's favor.
And looks like there's going to be a repeat of round 8. What do you think, Rahul?
Yeah, it was so hard to say, right? And you would expect people to hold on to their breaks, but Gufran, I think
Gufran had a lapse of concentration in this break. He had some really unfortunate misses.
Yes, I think there was a crucial shot where I think he gave away the advantage towards Aditya. The queen miss, and when the shot to release the whites didn't pan out the way he wanted, and that gave the necessary confidence and the advantage for Aditya, and he's going to go for the kill. If he has the 2 whites on his base, that's good enough for him to
two blacks, do you mean?
That's right. I'm sorry, 2 blacks.
And I think, the only difference between round 8 and this is that the last break in round 8 was Gufran's, where Aditya scored 5 points, and here Aditya has the break advantage.
This is really nail-biting here. You can sense the tension in the room here.
And look at this.
All the spectators around the board. And this game is also being screened in the big LED screen here at the India Community Center.
And that is quite a viewing experience, don't you think, Rahul?
Amazing. Yes, really amazing for me. There's a huge LCD screen here, and players gathered around the board. This is just Carrom at its best, I would say.
Totally. And what do you think about the break, Rahul? I don't think this was a break that Aditya would have been expecting.
Yes, definitely. He's had better breaks, and he would have loved to have that one. He would love to take that back and do it again for sure. It was a good opportunity to take the advantage with a nice break, but thing didn't pan out the way he wanted. Still even Stevens. I think nobody has a major advantage.
And
Aditya does have a pocket white. Gufran will at some point try to disrupt that. Nicely done. If you see, for the more keen observer there, pushing the white behind the black, then getting the rebound. Will look to play the cut.
You know, this center cluster is the crucial one here, and I think nobody's going to try and open that first unless they have all their coins cleared.
That's right, Chandu, and the level at which these players play, I think the fundamental rule is do not go into the cluster until you can either finish the board
Or you have a lot of insurances.
or you have the insurance to play for, right? So I think playing that cut here, nicely done, making it look so easy. Gonna go for the rebound, use the black support. It's pretty unfortunate. Gufran here is going to play the black at the other end. That did not pan out the way he would have wanted it.
And I think that has been the story for the last two breaks, looks like.
Yes, I think Gufran is not being able to capitalize on certain strokes to turn the board in his advantage. And Aditya there giving him a chance with that rebound. Nicely releasing that black there.
I think after this particular coin, Gufran will just try to pull the black cluster towards his
Yes.
side of the base.
I think when they pull, they look at what's the best option to pull, and that's the option I was looking at. The two blacks were stuck to each other, and there was an option to play the touch, rebound, and get the black to the pocket, which he does. Aditya is really going for it here. It's not an easy shot. Slope of the board and pace of the board comes into the play here.
Do you think Gufran can finish this board right now?
He would fancy himself to finish. There's a press on the red.
Oh,
It's unfortunate. That is really unfortunate.
that would have given him a finish.
Anywhere else on the board would have given him the finish. It's very interesting here now.
And looks like the tide has turned a little bit now.
Yes, I would say now the advantage is in Gufran's favor, and this shot is really crucial and beautifully
and look
done.
at that.
Circles the red back to his base and doubles the black.
And that is some mastery.
Yes, it is not at all easy to play with that speed and those angles. You need exact understanding of the striker deflection after the stroke, and first to see that pattern. There's multiple levels of mastery here, and I think Gufran might. This is the test of nerves here. Do you go for it? Look at that double off the base. We were just talking about the coins at the opposite end being difficult, but that didn't look like one.
And will
here it
Gufran
is, the all-important shot.
And Gufran is back-to-back Swiss League winner.
This is a really amazing game by Gufran. We were just talking about how he was losing his focus on the previous board, but then to hold his nerve,
This was a true nail-biter, Rahul.
it indeed was. And as we expected, it would have been to be a close encounter, and we were not disappointed, I would say. And here goes the announcement.
And you can hear the claps for the second-time champion at the Swiss event at a world stage
That's right.
here at the 6th World Cup event.
That's right. Gufran just is amazing in this Swiss format. To be able to do it back to back is no mean feat, and I think that's just an amazing achievement. And like I mentioned, 9 whole rounds played, starting from 9 a.m. in the morning, is not a mean task. And I think kudos to both the finalists. And it was a treat to watch for me.
Right, and don't go anywhere yet. We have the doubles finals coming up right after this.
Yes.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Subscribe to United States Carrom Association, and we'll see you again pretty soon in the next match. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.